I still remember when I came on a visit. After that weekend, I was sold, baby. I knew that I would be spending the next 4 years at Hofstra. I also want to give special thanks to my D coordinator, Coach Jiggs, and my D-line coach, Brown. Jiggs stayed on me about being great on the field and in the classroom and was always there when I needed him. Brownie, you were the first coach to teach me how to study my opponents, and that paid off for me years later. To my teammates, my brothers, those 4 years, man. Those 4 years were truly the best days of my life, man. I got to make true friendships that lasted a lifetime. Willie, Mark, DeVal, Terry, Sharif, CS, you guys know what you mean to me. The list can go on and on with the meaningful relationships I've made with my teammates. But those guys hold a special place in my heart. We stayed at school to take winter or summer class just so we could train to be the best that we could be. We pushed each other to strive for greatness. I'm truly lucky to call you guys my brothers. I want to give a special shout out to Tiffany. In all seriousness, though, I want to thank you for being and for always being there for me no matter what. I'm forever grateful. To my children, my heart, you will never know how much Daddy loves you. Everything I do is always for you two. I'm so proud of the way you two have grown up. I couldn't ask for better children. Just know that Daddy will always be here for you no matter what, and I love you two very much. To my family, in the beginning, it was just us, additionally, and played a big part in my success. To my sisters, Naisha and Nicole, my original best friends. You guys have always been my biggest cheerleaders, literally, since we were kids. I'm so proud of the woman that you have become, and I will continue to be the best uncle I can be to my nieces and nephews. To my Aunt Niecy, I didn't have a lot of family come watch me to play growing up, but you was always there from the beginning. I love you, and I thank you for always being there for me. And to my parents, I could never repay you for the things that you did for me. You guys made a way sometimes out of nothing to give us the best opportunity to be successful. Mom, thank you for being there for when Pops was a little rough on me. You've always done your best to shower us with love. You stayed on me about the importance of school. I had to learn some hard lessons, but I thank God for them because I wouldn't be who I am today. I just want to tell you how much I love you, and I want to thank you for being the best grandmother to Trinity and Steve. And finally, my dad. You've been my hero my whole life. I started playing this game because of the past, as a fan, and because you loved it, I naturally loved it too. Working 10-hour days and still taking the time to coach me from 7 to 14 years old. Teaching me the importance of hard work and sacrifice. You raised me to be a strong black man and to be proud of where I come from. You never missed any of my games, and I always had a certain level of confidence when I saw you in the stands. Dad, I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for you. You always told me I was destined for greatness. Well, look at your son, Hall of Famer. In closing, I just want to thank everyone for such a huge honor. And in the words of Joe Gardy, I will continue to carry our banner high. Thank you.
Stephen Bowen, Hofstra Hall of Famer. How does that sound? Ladies and gentlemen, once again, a round of applause for the newest member of the Hofstra Hall of Fame, Stephen Bowen. Ladies and gentlemen, our next inductee, Shante Evans, is one of the greatest to ever lace up a pair of sneakers for the Hofstra Pride women's basketball team. A gifted scorer and rebounder, Shante set records, led her teams to great success, and was an All-American and an All-CAA performer, and had her jersey retired. She has represented her country as well as Slovenia in international competition. A 2013 graduate with a degree in history, Shante currently plays professionally in Poland. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, please direct your attention to the video screens for more about Shante Evans with comments from former coach Krista Kilburn-Stebeski. Shante Evans!
A four-year starter and three-time Associated Press Honorable Mention All-American on the women's basketball team from 2009 through 2013, Shante Evans is one of the greatest players to ever wear a Hofstra uniform. The Pride's all-time leading scorer and rebounder, Evans poured in 2,116 points during her tenure and grabbed 1,348 rebounds. She is the only Hofstra women's basketball player to score 2,000 points and is one of only two with more than 1,000 rebounds, with the other being fellow Hofstra Athletics Hall of Famer Kate Gordon. In addition to her points and rebounding marks, Evans holds the Pride record for free throws made with 529, is second in games played with 127, and ninth in block shots with 86. A four-time All-CAA selection, including 3 first-team nods, Evans led the league in rebounding as a freshman and as a senior, and ranks first in career rebounds and 7th in career points in CAA history.
When I think of Shante Evans, I think about how fortunate I was to have had the opportunity to coach her for 4 years. She is a Hofstra legend and truly defines the term impact player. She had such a significant influence on our entire program during her tenure. Yet all the points scored, rebounds grabbed, record-breaking achievements and milestones, which were outstanding and a lot, it was her coachable spirit and calm demeanor that stands out the most.
Hofstra made a pair of WNIT appearances during her tenure and averaged 18 wins per season. Evans, who was one of 3 Hofstra women's basketball players to have her jersey retired, has played professionally overseas for the past decade and currently plays in Poland. She has won multiple championships during her professional career and is also a member of the Slovenian national team, and previously played on the United States Pan American Games team in 2011.
I am truly honored to have coached Shante Evans, and it comes at no surprise she's being inducted to the 2024 Hofstra Hall of Fame. Congrats, Shante, on such a well-deserved honor.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Shante Evans.
I didn't think I was going to be a little emotional today, but thank you, Stephen, for that. First off, I want to say congratulations to the other inductees in your amazing career here at Hofstra and then afterwards. So when I first got the call a couple months ago, I felt so many different emotions. One, for sure, being surprised because I set, a high standard, goals for me going into my career. One, I wanted to be one of the best to play here. But becoming a Hall of Fame was not even a thought or a process. I didn't even think that would happen until I was 50 or something. But I guess I'm getting old, so they're telling me something. And another one was proud. For my first time in my career, I actually got to sit down and think about what I went through for my career, starting at 8 years old, playing AAU basketball. So starting at 8-year-olds to now I'm 32 years old, that's a lot of years of basketball. And for me to get to this point, that's a lot of steps and a lot of sacrifice. So believe me when I say, I am beyond honored to even be here, especially with this class that's being inducted right now. And then from being proud, that also showed me that I did the hardest part, which is just showing up. Because as you ask the other inductees, that is literally 50% of the part of becoming successful is just showing up. Because also, playing in college, all the steps you got to take to play your first game or match is basically hell. You know that. The sacrifice, the whatever you got to do to make sure you're ready for the game is hell. From that, my freshman year, waking up at 6 a.m., doing runs, doing stadium steps, flipping tires, lifting your max weight, and then your trainer telling you, put 5 more pounds on there. And one workout that I will never forget is when my coach brought in the Marines. And when I tell you, as a day, I knew that I was built for this. The workout started off with a long, heavy log on her shoulder, and we simply just had to lift it overhead and put it on the other shoulder 100 times. Now, as basketball players, there's point guards and there's posts. So as a point guard, that's not laying on your shoulder. So at that moment, we were carrying most of the weight. And then after that, which is the best part, is that we jumped in a pool with sweatpants and our hoodies on. Yes, and we were told to tread water for a couple of minutes. And half my team couldn't swim. But we survived. We made it through every run, every lift, every long bus ride, every win and loss together. And that was the biggest key of my success on the court. I have the biggest support system my whole entire career. I gave into the system. I believed in the system. I believed in my team, and my team believed in me. And I think, I'm not going to talk about what's going on now in college career, but I had a team that believed in me, and that's why I was successful. It wasn't just because of my talent or whatever, but I didn't have no one who hated on me, was jealous or anything. I never felt any of that. My coaches, my team, the staff around Hofstra, which was amazing. Everyone believed in me, which made everything easy for me. So all I had to do was show up on the court and just play. And looking back at all the hard work that we do, even at this age, I will go back and do it again. Like I said, not only my teammates were great, but I was fortunate to have great coaching staff. Santos, Minetti, and Bill that are here today, they were my assistant coaches back then. And I just want to say thank you for being an important part of my career. Thank you for being a calm in a storm sometimes. And though I graduated 13 years ago, I know that I can call you guys today and you will help me out any way possible. The most important support system of my life is my family. I'm a family person. And my brother and sister are the most important people in my life. They're younger than me, but they are my best friends. We talk every single day. Even when I've been overseas for the past 10 years, I miss so many important parts of their life. And they appreciate and they know what I love to do, and they never put it down on me, and I love them for that. And to my parents, who, man, if you guys know, who have kids who play AU sports or whatever, and how expensive that is, and the sacrifice you have to do, I've been playing AAU since I was 8 years old. So that's 10 years of summers, weeks, weekends of money and time my parents gave for me to pursue my dream. And I will always love them for that. And to my dad, who is here today, who is my biggest supporter, biggest critic, yes, thank you. My biggest supporter and critic, he's always there, no matter what. Good or bad days, he's always there. And I love you for that. One of the number one questions I always get is why Hofstra? Why Hofstra? I was heavily recruited coming out of high school. I was top 10 in my position, and I could have went anywhere. But it's hard for me to explain, but I can put in a simple answer. But that feeling that I had when I was being recruited here is the same feeling that I have right now, and I only know maybe like 3-4 people in here, is that Hofstra is home. And it always will be. Thank you.
I speak for all those, Shante, who had the privilege of seeing you play. You truly were one of the most dominant players of any sport that I, in my time, have seen play at Hofstra University. Ladies and gentlemen, let's hear it for Shante Evans, newest member of the Hofstra Athletics Hall of Fame. Ladies and gentlemen, our third Hall of Fame inductee is a men's lacrosse student athlete, Brian Spallina. Our multiple-time All-American and All-America East selection as a long-stick midfielder, Brian was one of the most dynamic players in program history. A member of 3 conference championships and NCAA tournament teams, he is also one of the most decorated professional lacrosse players in history. A 2000 graduate of Hofstra University with a degree in elementary education, Brian also had a distinguished teaching career on Long Island. He and his wife, Gina, a former two-sport athlete at Hofstra, have 3 children, Rocco, Luca, and Capri. We will now hear more about Brian Spallina with comments from Hofstra men's lacrosse coach Seth Tierney. Brian Spallina.
A 4-year member of the men's lacrosse team between 1997 and 2000, Brian Spallina was a 2-time USILA All-American selection at Hofstra, including a first-team pick in 2000. A long-stick midfielder, he earned All-America East honors in 1999 and 2000, and was a first-team selection as a senior. During his 4-year tenure with the Pride, Spallina played in 57 games and recorded 17 goals, 10 assists, 27 points, and 208 ground balls. He played on 3 America East Championship squads and was part of 3 NCAA tournament teams, with the 1999 team advancing to the quarterfinals. Following his senior season, Spallina played in the North-South All-Star Game.
So well-deserved, a player that has impacted so many locker rooms with his infectious, positive approach, his tenacious play. I couldn't have thought of anybody more deserving than Brian Spallina.
Spallina was also a member of the 2006 U.S. National Training Team, went on to an incredible professional career as he was a 7-time Major League Lacrosse champion and a 2-time MLL All-Star. Spallina won titles in 2001 and 2015 with the Long Island Lizards, 2004, 2006, and 2007 with the Philadelphia Barrage, and 2012 and 2013 with the Chesapeake Bayhawks. He was inducted into the Professional Lacrosse Hall of Fame as part of the 2023 class. Spallina is also a 2024 Suffolk Sports Hall of Fame inductee.
Brian, congratulations. I enjoyed the time that we spent on the same sideline as player-coach, and certainly with your club program as coach-coach. And I know that you're doing an unbelievable job growing the game of lacrosse. Congrats again to you and your family.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Brian Spallina.
Thank you very much. So when I got this call from Rick and Brian, I was actually mildly confused. You know, at our time at Hofstra together, one of the big things for athletes was to work sports facilities. And in doing so, one of the best jobs you could have was to be as part of the chain crew on the football games. We took the job serious, real serious. They'd bring us in, they'd dress us up in stripes, they'd lay down the law, they'd tell us this is the way it has to be. If the play comes your way, you drop the down marker and you run. No matter what, you clear the sideline. We nodded our heads, we walked out, and then we looked at each other and we said, if you drop that down marker, the pain's gonna be more that you're gonna have to feel from the abuse you're gonna take from your teammates than you would take from the hit that's coming your way. And so we had some fun times. A few bent down markers, and I believe there was a time New Hampshire was playing against Hofstra football, and the coach didn't like us very much. A few of the chain crew guys are over here, so shout out to them. And my job in that particular game, my apologies to those sitting in the front two tables, was to work the clip. And the wire for the coach's headset, because it was the 90s, was just sort of sitting there by the chain. And I happened to catch it on the clip and the chain. Gio Carmazzi threw for like a 45-yarder the next play, and the chain crew took off, and so did the coach's headset. And then I was sent to the locker room dressed in stripes, the walk of shame. And then my wife, yeah, I'll take that clap, I'll take that clap. My wife at the time was playing soccer, and Simon, you out there? Simon at the time was the assistant coach. And the Hofstra field had these beautiful pine trees next to it. So if Hofstra girls had the lead, if they didn't have the lead, I was getting dirt marks on my back, diving in the trees. I was coming out with pine needles, pine cones, it didn't matter. I was going all costs to get the ball and get it back to them so they could get it back in play and try and catch up. But if Hofstra had the lead and that ball went in the pine trees, it was a solid 3.5 minutes before I could come out with that ball. It was stuffed up the back of my shirt, and I couldn't find it anywhere. And so I was a little confused if this induction was going to be for football, the women's soccer team, or lacrosse. But I'm grateful they picked lacrosse. In all seriousness, though, when I think about my time here at Hofstra, I think about the 4 best years of my life. as you heard in our first two inductees. Defined by chance for me, I was not one of the top 10 players, and essentially I had to bet on myself. A bet that as a 17 or 18-year-old naive kid, I was willing to take. I was an athlete in a small town in a relatively new sport. I played part-time, but I had aspirations of playing at a higher level. I was grateful to be recruited by 2 Division III schools, but I knew that I wanted something more. And so I bet on myself. I took a chance that continued to play a major role in defining my life, who I was and who I have become. My time here on the Turnpike played a major role in that. Hofstra holds a special place in my heart, a place where I learned so much, a place where I built so many relationships, a place where I learned to attack adversity head on, and most importantly, a place where I met the love of my life. 4 years of countless memories that flew by. A time that when you're in it, you don't realize how lucky you are to have it. Memories like early morning runs, practices, locker room joust wars, locker room banter, weight room, film sessions, long hours at Margiata Hall, all for one common goal, and that was to win as a team. Then the classroom memories. Straight to class after class, late nights studying, papers, keeping the GPA high, and thanks to my wife, I achieved an academic All-American award. I got you. Being an elementary education major and being one of the few males always came with some funny times as well in those classes. The teacher was always looking for a volunteer. And heading to class after an early morning practice with pajama pants on, and some sloppy-looking shirt and a winter hat, I was the perfect pick. She continued to ask and ask and ask and ask, and there was this envelope sitting there, and in my mind, I'm like, all right, I could bring that envelope to the office, right, you know? And then she asked me to get up and teach the class how to do I'm a Little Teapot using hand motions. I wasn't too into that. But here I am, still doing it in a second grade class. Memories of friendships, the hangouts, extra workouts, lunches, dinners, trips to Vincent's, back points, which was some wrestling moves upstairs in the house. Weidman, if you need any sparring partners, we got a couple guys at the table over here. And it never hurt when you had J.R. Tinian, whose brother was the manager of Morton's. We could always get a great dinner. Meeting people who have become lifelong friends and brothers. And of course, the memories of meeting my wife, which I'll touch on that more later. To my teammates and coaches, Coach Tierney, who's in the room, Coach Danowski, Coach Wilson, and Coach Smith, thank you from the bottom of my heart. Thank you for helping define me and helping to define my journey. Thank you for challenging me to be the best version of myself. Thank you for helping instill the spirit that led us all to successful college careers. I never forget those first practices. The first time on the turf, 5:45 in the morning and the lights slowly coming on. The morning dew's in the air, and this naive 17 or 18-year-old player at that time who came from a small town and had little skill was ducking as the balls were whizzing past my head. I can remember the feeling of saying to myself, I've got to figure this out, and I've got to figure it out in a hurry. First year, I started as a face-off guy. The second year, it was requested that I would switch my position, which meant I probably wasn't going to be the face-off guy anymore. So I took a chance. To my parents, they didn't want to hear about it. I was the best in their eyes. But to coaches, this was something the team needed. They needed me in a different way. And after that particular fall, heading into the spring, the rest was history. None of which would have been possible without the belief of my coaches and teammates. So thank you. Thank you to my friends, my family, and my coworkers that are in attendance. I truly appreciate your support and appreciative of all of you taking the time to share in this special moment. To my parents, who've never, ever, literally never missed a thing until tonight. They're fine. They're enjoying a cruise together. No two people deserve that more. This cruise was booked a long time before I had found out about the Hofstra Hall of Fame. They're the greatest support a person could have asked for. My mom and dad are truly the best. Great role models for us all. Their love for each other and those around them was truly admirable. To this day, they still find a way to be extremely supportive of their children, grandchildren, and anyone that's fortunate enough to become in their path. To my wife, my biggest supporter, I distinctly remember 2 times when we crossed paths in our younger years at Hofstra. One time wearing this cream Abercrombie sweater, and another time after coming out of a meeting with a coach. And she was pretty upset at the time, and it was just sort of a chance meeting where I think Mike Lorano actually offered a ride as we had a car full of people for her back to the dorm. But for those who know me, I didn't spend much time out. No time in bars. Some may say I was boring. Today I actually had a drink on the golf course, and a few of the guys' heads spun around because they were a little surprised at it. My wife, on the other hand, was not boring. One night, we were having a blowout party at our Lax house, hundreds of people. My room was in the basement, and very legal, by the way. It really was. We didn't build the room or anything, it was fun. But I worked 40 straight hours at sports facilities, and naturally, I was sleeping during the party. I woke up to use the bathroom, and as I turned to go up the stairs, there she was, coming down. A quick exchange, and I was coerced to take a shower and hang out. By the time I got out of the shower, she had left. I mustered up the energy to go to Bogart's for my second time in 3 years to meet with her, a moment that would forever change my life. The Pizza King trips, Dutch treats, workouts, hangouts, twin beds, trips to Rocky Point for family parties. But everything from that moment in my life was better with you. I wouldn't be standing here before you all without my life's co-pilot. Truly blessed to have such an amazing wife to navigate this crazy life together. The person who loves me, challenges me, and always believes in me for who I am, and somehow fell in love with a guy with a ponytail. Jean, I love you, and thank you for being there for me and for our amazing little family. We're blessed to have you as our rock. To my kids, Rocco, Luca, and Capri, Mom and I love you more than you'll ever understand. We're always so proud of you. My message to you 3 as it connects to my time at Hofstra is to always believe in yourself. Never back down from a challenge, and fight for everything that you believe in. If you can dream it, you can achieve it. My greatest accomplishment to date is being your father, and I love you 3. In closing, I'd like to say thank you to everyone here in attendance. A huge thank you to Hofstra Athletics for putting up with all the texts that I did not respond to. Jessica, I owe you a public apology. I'm the worst. Just ask anyone over there at that table. But I truly appreciate my induction here to Hofstra's Hall of Fame. Thank you to Hofstra Athletics for this acknowledgement and induction. Thank you to all those involved in making this event so special. And to my fellow inductees, I'm honored to share this night with you all. Forever the class of 2024 Hofstra Hall of Fame. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, a round of applause for the newest member of the Hofstra Hall of Fame from our history-rich lacrosse program, Brian Spallina. Ladies and gentlemen, our 4th inductee tonight is wrestling student-athlete Chris Weidman, a successful junior college wrestler at Nassau Community College before joining the Pride. Chris was one of the best to ever step on the mat. He was a two-time All-American and was ranked among the nation's best at his weight class. Following his 2007 graduation from Hofstra with a degree in psychology, Chris embarked on a career in mixed martial arts and has enjoyed great success with multiple world title reigns. Still active, he won his last bout this past March. He and his wife, Maury V, have 3 children, Cassidy, CJ, and Colton. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, we invite you to direct your attention to the video screens for more about Chris Weidman with comments from former Hofstra coach and member of the Hofstra Hall of Fame class of 2023, Tom Ryan. Chris Weidman.
A 3-year member of the Hofstra wrestling team between 2004 and 2007, Chris Weidman was a 2-time All-American for the Pride. He won 51 matches during his 3 seasons, placing 6th as a junior and 3rd as a senior at the NCAA Championships. He was named to the Colonial Athletic Association's Silver Anniversary Wrestling Team in 2009. Prior to coming to Hofstra, Weidman was a 2-time junior college All-American at Nassau Community College and was the first junior college wrestler to win a weight class at the New York State Championship in 2003. Following his graduation from Hofstra, Weidman began training for a mixed martial arts career and made his professional debut in 2009. He won the Ring of Combat Middleweight Championship in 2010 in just his 3rd professional bout.
Congratulations, Chris Weidman, class of 2024 Hofstra Hall of Fame. There was never any doubt in my mind to be a Hall of Famer. Watching you in high school and then in college, and then of course having the blessing of coaching you. I was so grateful when you chose to be a Pride member. There were some memories that really stick out for me. When I heard you were being inducted, it was like, wow, we're almost 20 years removed from when we started discussing you being a member of the Hofstra wrestling team.
He joined the Ultimate Fighting Championship in 2011 and would then win his first UFC title in 2013, defeating MMA legend Anderson Silva for the Middleweight Championship. Weidman was named the 2013 UFC Fighter of the Year and also won Top Fighter Awards that year from Yahoo Sports and the World MMA Awards. He is still an active competitor in UFC and won his last bout this past March. He currently owns a 16-7 record as a professional fighter.
Yeah, man, I'm just happy for you. I'm happy for your family. I know you're doing well, and I wish I could be there. Unfortunately, I can't make it. But super proud of you, buddy, and thanks for all you did to better the Hofstra wrestling program.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Chris Weidman.
Wow. Well, congratulations to the other inductees that came before me. You guys were amazing, amazing speeches. It's definitely a tough task to follow that. Each one of you guys had me crying at some point. So I thought my speech would be a little bit less heart-wrenching, so I'm hoping I don't cry, but we'll see where it takes us. So I'm in the Hall of Fame. In Hofstra University, this is a pretty big deal, but you got to think it has to come with some perks. I've been telling people for the last 15 years that I have a master's degree from Hofstra. I've tweeted it, and Hofstra's retweeted it, so I thought I was a shoo and I have it. The only person that really actually knows the truth is my wife, Marivi, and she makes sure to call me out every time I say it because I'm actually 1 credit short. But I'm in the Hall of Fame now, Dr. Poser, I feel like we're rubbing elbows here, you know. Honorary degree, maybe? Can I hear it for Can I get an honorary degree? Thank you. Thumbs up. We got thumbs up. I'll send you my address. We'll get that diploma delivered. Volante's pissed. He's doing his master's still for the last 17 years, so hopefully he doesn't get too mad. But you got to be good looking, man, and you got to talk to people. I'm trying to teach you these things. You got to step your game up. All right. If you don't know much about me, I'm from Baldwin, Long Island, born and raised. I have a lot of pride being from, oh my God, don't let it happen. I have a lot of pride being from Long Island. And, so I played every sport growing up, but around my freshman, sophomore year, I started really falling in love with the sport of wrestling. And I remember going down to a Hofstra wrestling match for the first time, and the whole Mac Center was sold out, completely sold out crowd. They're wrestling all these top Division I teams, and watching these like superheroes out on the mat just crushing people. I was like, man, that's what I want to do. So I really started focusing on the sport, and I got better and better, and I felt like I was on, maybe a Division I level wrestling, as a wrestler. But there's one thing I forgot about. You got to have the academics to go Division I. So unfortunately, I didn't pass the Division I clearinghouse. If you don't know what that is, I could tell you. It's the combination of your GPA and your SAT score. My SATs weren't very good, but they were better than Volante's, because we argue about that all the time. But so I had to go to Nassau Community College, which was a great experience for me, and it really helped me figure out how to get good in school. And my wife, Marie V. You guys are clapping now, but I have a lot to say, and if I'm crying now, this is going to be a long night. I've been with Marie V since. I can't talk if I let it out, though. Since I'm a senior in high school, she was a sophomore. We grew up together. She ended up getting her accounting degree from Hofstra. Very smart. You go to Nassau Community College, and it's a great school. It's one of the best community colleges in the country. But the problem is, usually guys end up hanging around the same people that kind of got them there to begin with. And so you don't get out. It's hard to really get out of there and move forward. But I got to attribute me getting through that. I became an academic All-American at Nassau Community College. And it was really, my wife, she's very hard on me. Some things come way easier for her. And so she just really pushed me to be a better person and start taking school more serious. And she kept me on the right track. Next year, at Hofstra University, the school I always wanted to go, they offered me a full scholarship. And I got to be a part of the team. I got to see where I was at here. Being on the Hofstra wrestling team, some of my teammates are here. It was very special. Just wearing the gray T-shirt in the wrestling room, with the blue, ugly spandex. Just the camaraderie and the pride that you had to be on that team was really special. Some of my favorite memories, other than being the wrestling team and having that camaraderie with the guys, was being in the Mac Center. We were wrestling Penn State. If you guys follow the sport of wrestling at all, Penn State's a powerhouse. They were one of the top-ranked teams in the country. For that match, I was wrestling a guy named Phil Davis, who was the #1 ranked kid in the country, and I ended up getting the win, and our team beat Penn State. I'm pretty sure it's the first and last time, no offense to the future people coming up here, first and last time we beat Penn State. Another memory that pops into my head, we beat University of Minnesota. University of Minnesota at that time was number 1 ranked team in the country that didn't lose a dual meet all year that year. The only team they lost to was Hofstra University. Another one that pops up, Hofstra was wrestling Oklahoma State. This was my red shirt year. And I got to see John Volante ends up becoming my best friend, getting foot swept around the mat by Steve Mocco. Steve Mocco, one of the best heavyweight wrestlers we've ever seen in college. That was awesome. The best thing about it, Volante, can you stand up so they can see your ugly face? No. It was awesome because, listen, he was a football player. He was a multiple-time college All-American. Maybe he's going to be an inductee in the Hall of Fame one day, you know. But maybe not. But I got him to come out for the wrestling team, and to watch him get thrown around by Steve Mocco was awesome. And he was laughing the whole time. He knew he had no chance. So it was fun to watch. Another personal story for me was the first year I got to be a part of the NCAA National Championships. I forget exactly where it was, but I didn't have the great first year at Hofstra. I had a lot of injuries. I had losses to guys that I thought I should never lose to. It was tough for me mentally. But going into that tournament, I got my knee drained. I had a bunch of fluid in my knee. I got the knee drained. And I started warming up for that tournament. I never felt better. I go, oh my gosh, I feel good. The only problem is the first round of that tournament, I have a guy I'm matched up with named Win Maholic, who was the number one seeded guy in the whole tournament. He was undefeated. He completely obliterated everybody else in the country, including a 3-time national champion, this guy named Jake Rochold, who I ended up losing to later on in the tournament. But the guy was a beast. I went on that mat and I completely crushed him. I beat him, I don't know, I beat him like 12-8 or something, but it was like completely dominating and it was shocking for everybody. It was the biggest upset of the tournament, so that was pretty cool. All right. Some of the coaches, the influence I've had, and teammates throughout my wrestling career, I'm not up here just because of my wrestling. I'm here also because of what I've accomplished outside of the wrestling in the UFC octagon. And the discipline, the work ethic, the mental toughness, the mindset that you need to become a world champion, I really learned here from the coaches and the athletes that I was around. Some of those coaches. Tom Ryan, who he gave the talk, he got me up here. This guy was a role model, not just for me, but for a good chunk of Long Island. He wrestled at Iowa under Dan Gable. I know I'm talking all over a lot of people's heads if you're not a wrestler, but if you are a wrestler, I'm talking to you guys. He was under Dan Gable, and just the epitome of mental toughness. And I took a lot of that with me as I move forward. Tom Shiflett, another one of my head coaches after Tom Ryan left, and now he's the head coach of Ohio State. Tom Ryan is, but Tom Shiflett took his spot. Rob Onspach, another one who really just beat me up inside that room and showed me how to be tough. Joe Dubuque, Donnie Pritzlaff, and I got to mention Dennis Papadopoulos. Where are you, Dennis? All right. Where is he? Dennis Papadopoulos. I told him I was going to roast him, so he doesn't want. He's really ducking down. If you're a body language expert, you know that's not a confident man right now. He's falling apart. But the truth is, this man inspired me a lot. When I was a junior in high school, I was unsure if I was going to be able to wrestle on Division I level. And I had an opportunity to go down to the Hofstra wrestling room for the very first time. And Dennis Papadopoulos, Tom Ryan, the head coach, Dennis Papadopoulos is my workout partner. And I threw him around like a rag doll. And right there and then, I realized, man, I could wrestle on the Division I level. He's not saying this is real. All right, you know what? I think I'm lying. I wasn't a junior, I was a freshman. Is that right? He did give me a pair of wrestling shoes that day, and I'll always thank him for that. I don't know if you remember that. That was honestly special because. You were committed to lock in, and I told you not to get them. Yeah. Okay. So was I a junior? All right. Don't put me in the senior. I'm not a senior. I wasn't a senior. Anyway, I was very good. All right. Sorry, Papadopoulos. I love Papadopoulos. And congratulations. He just finished up his 10 years as head coach at Hofstra University. He did a great job. And now he's stepping into an administration role at Hofstra. One of the only coaches that left the program and are actually sticking around to help out in the administration. So congratulations. Some Hofstra wrestlers that really stick out to me. Joe Ravelli. I know Patrovich is smiling over there because Ravelli, he came as a freshman when I was coming from Nassau. So I'm like a sophomore in college or a junior in college, redshirting. And so I'm developed. And he's my same way coming in from Pennsylvania. He's a top recruit. But for 3 years straight, I put a beating on this kid. And anybody who's been my workout partner, especially Volante over there, where's the Dino? The Dino, I could be pretty mean. You know, I seem like a nice guy up here, but if you're on those mats with me and day in and day out, I could like really just beat you up a lot. And it doesn't ever end. So I got to give props to Ravelli. He should have been a 2-time All-American, but he just had a bad tournament. Mike Patrovich, I mentioned him. This guy, without us training with each other that often in the wrestling room, this guy had a huge impact on my career at Hofstra, but also my career in fighting. And he doesn't know this, but this guy is the epitome of work ethic. He did everything right. It was the drills during the day, you know, with an assistant coach or another workout partner. It was the early morning lifts and the runs. He did everything right. I was kind of cutting corners a lot. When I got into MMA, I wanted to be more like Mike Patrovich. I wanted to do things right. And so he had a very big impact on my life, whether he knows it or not. And he was a captain of the wrestling team. There were certain things he said to me at certain times that really affected me a lot. I knew he was rooting for me. I remember after I was an All-American my first year at Hofstra, I didn't have a great year that year, but I became an All-American. I beat the #1 seed in the country. You know, I should have a lot of confidence. I remember him coming up to me, Chris, you are so gifted. You are so talented. You have so much potential. This should let you know. And it did all those and more coming from him. All right. Like Rick Cole said, I don't know where you are, Rick Cole. All right. What he said really was true when he was up here. He said a lot of great things. It made me tear up a little bit too. When you're on the wrestling mat and you're in the UFC octagon, it's all about you. It looks like it's just you out there and everyone's giving you all the glory, but it's really the support system that is with me out there. I'm not on my own at all. I wouldn't be able to do any of this on my own. And so I want to get into some of these friends and training partners that really helped me along the way. And supporters. And a lot of them are here tonight. Scott Arnell. Where are you, Scott? I didn't know you were coming tonight. One of the biggest Hofstra wrestling supporters when I was there, I didn't come from much from Baldwin. I'm a South Shore guy. And I know this sounds weird. I never know how to say it without making people feel weird. But there's something when you find out someone has money and they're donating, you get a little intimidated. And now I can't even look at him. But this guy's a very successful guy, but very blue collar the way he acts. He's very humble and he's not throwing, money in your face. It's just, anytime I ever talked about Scardinell, it was like that. This guy is just so humble and you never know. And it's just very impressionable, and I thank you for all the support over the years when I was at Hofstra and also through the UFC. All right, there's a lot of people. Some people I'm making fun of. Some people I'm going to thank. All right, Kamisa. There he is, my pit bull attorney. If any of you guys need any pro bono work, any of you guys get in trouble, I've been in trouble over the years. I grew up, my wife got on me, but if you need any attorney by your side, he's a great defense attorney, real estate, whatever you need, he's got you. I appreciate you being here. He really became a great friend. the Fracaro family. When I heard the Fracaro family was coming, I was so happy. They got that table right there. I think they announced them. They sponsored a table here. It's kind of another one like Arnell. You know, you don't know how to act. You know, they own like 1,700 Burger Kings. You know, they own Green Turtles. They own hot wing places. I'm sure I'm missing things and I'm messing things up. But what you realize when you meet them, from every person you meet in their family, they're the greatest human beings and the greatest family I've ever met. They are unbelievable, just the greatest people. They didn't tell me they were coming here tonight, and it's super special they're here. I'm gonna embarrass them some more. When I was an up-and-coming fighter, I had no money. I'm living in my parents' basement. I have a baby on the way. I'm trying to make ends meet, and I'm making like $12,000 as a volunteer assistant at Hofstra University, you know, and I got to try to figure out what I'm doing for the rest of my life. But I had this passion, I had this goal of becoming a UFC champion. But to be able to do that with a family is very hard. And they stepped up and they helped me and they sponsored me. They put a Burger King logo on my shorts. And the grappling tour, I did a grappling tournament. It's the World Championships for Jiu-Jitsu. It's called the Abu Dhabi Championships. Everyone was blown away. I had this Burger King logo. They're like, who is this kid? And it's because, man, I happened to meet and rub elbows with just great human beings. And I met them through the Hofstra wrestling program because John Fracaro, his son Johnny, wrestled, and I was helping him out. And next thing you know, they just felt like they should help me what I needed. And I appreciate it. Because I wouldn't, all these people I'm talking about, I wouldn't be able to be up here right now without them. So that's why I have to go through all of them, because they're all so special. All right. Jamie Franco. All right. Jamie Franco. He's been a coach at Hofstra. He's a coach at Columbia University right now. When I opened up an MMA gym not too far with Ray Longo, who I'll be talking about here soon, he's getting bored. He wants to leave. We wanted to do it right, and so we wanted to hire a gym manager. And Jamie Franco was just graduating from the Hofstra wrestling program, and I remember talking to Papadopoulos too. Like, who do you got? Who's a hard worker? Who's gonna help me out? You know, we'll pay him and whatever. Like, and he mentioned Franco, and I knew Franco, and I'm like, that's it. And it's been amazing. We became very close friends. He was my gym manager for a really long time, but he was far more than that. You know, he was my babysitter with my kids. He was helping me out, like taking pictures for people. You know, if I'm doing autographs and signings, he was coming anything I needed him for, he'd be there. And he's here tonight. Another great human being that's been a part of my life. All right, Tom DiDino. He's a cop. He's a cop now in Nassau County. But he's another one I threw a lot of beatings on over the years. He used to come from Franklin Square to Baldwin just to wrestle me. He's a super tough kid. And if you happen to live in the Nassau County area, you need a little protection, if you know what I mean. He'll take care of you. He knows people, you know. All right. All right, another one. George Javian. This was the first North Shore kid I ever met in my life. Come on, George, where are you? I need to see you. All right, listen. When I met him, you know, again, I was the broke kid from Baldwin, and he's seen potential in me. And he started supporting me. I hated steak my whole life because my mom, I love her to death, but we would have like the cheapest steaks, you know, the discount ones, and it would always be well done. I just didn't like steaks. They'd just keep chewing up in your mouth. He brought me to my first steakhouse, like a real steakhouse, and I was like, holy crap. I love steak now. Like, taught me a medium rare. He's taught me a lot. He would give me his design, you know, his hand-me-downs from his designer clothes. I would be wearing like, you know, 3-year-old Burberry shoes, you know, and like all this expensive stuff that I would never be able to buy because he was hooking me up. He was just take care of me. He did a lot of things for me. And so thank you, George. All right, John Volante. Yeah, you better. What's wrong, John? You all right? All right, so John, I mean, I'll start nice. He's one of the best. No, no one's taking the mic from me. I'm good. Volante, he's one of the best athletes to ever come out of Long Island. It's true. He was a Thorpe Award winner, which is at that time, I don't know if it's still the same thing, but it's the best football player from Long Island of any position. He earned it. He became a 3-time college All-American at Hofstra University for football, but he was also a state champion wrestler. And so I met him through the wrestling world, and I knew about him through the football world. I was better than him at football too, but I decided to take wrestling more serious. But I got him out. I got him to come out for the Hofstra wrestling program. I got him to wrestle a little bit. He got beat up by Steve Mako. But I think because he did that 1 year of Hofstra wrestling, he ends up getting into MMA around the same time I did. And man, me and him punched each other in the head more times than I could even care to think about. It's pretty bad. But Volante, I love you. You're the man. Such a good dude to my kids, to my wife. He's family. All right, Ray Longo. So Ray Longo, stand up, Ray Longo. Ray Longo, there he is. All right. If you're from Long Island, you should know the name at this point. If you don't, he's going to be pissed. But he's, I think, the best MMA coach in the world. And I think the proof is in the pudding. The guy has made 3 world champions now from Long Island, all born and raised Long Island guys. He turned these dummies into world champions against the best in the world. And it's really impressive is because when he believes in you, you believe in yourself like no other. And so I would not be up here right now, that's for sure, without Ray Longo. Thank you so much. And I just want to... we're getting old, Longo. I'm still fighting. His first world champion, Matt Serra, some of you guys might have heard his name. He just turned 50. I'm turning 30. I'm not turning 30. I'm turning 40. This week coming up, which is crazy. And Longo's turning 80. So it's really like, you look great. You're doing great. Yeah. Longo's scary. I got the Dino. All right, this is my parents. My parents have been at every single thing I've ever done in my life. I don't know why a piano like demonstration came in my head, but I remember I did a piano thing. You guys, you've been at everything. Every single wrestling match, every football game, every lacrosse game. I play lacrosse too. Every fight. And I remember when I told them I was going to get into fighting, and wrestling is really hard for parents to be a part of and to watch. It's very stressful. A one-on-one sport where a loss means so much. It's very taxing, a lot of anxiety. So when I told them I was getting into fighting, they probably weren't the happiest to hear that, but they were extremely supportive. If I decided to set my mind to something, they had my back. My dad, he makes me cringe a lot. If you've ever watched the UFC, there's memes of him grabbing the mic from Joe Rogan and screaming out, "That's my boy." Yeah, he won't stop. But I never really had idols growing up. People would ask me, "Who's your idol?" I don't know. I really never had anybody. But then, as you get older, you start really realizing he's been my idol the whole time. He's the most genuine and loving person you'll ever meet. He treats everyone, no matter who it is. It could be guys in my gym who's old, drugged out. We have some weird dudes in the MMA gyms. My dad will become like best friends with them. Like they end up loving him. He'll spend time with anybody. He's not looking for anything in return. That's what I really try to get from him. My mom, the most supportive, smart, beautiful, loving mom. She would kill anyone for me, right? And we've had some tough moments in my life where a lot of people would shy away from having my back. And my mom, she's right there. And I love you. I told you guys this is going to be long. My 3 children, Cassidy can't make it, Colton, CJ. I love you guys so much. I'm always going to have your back. I'm here for you guys. No matter what you guys are going through, I love you. Like they said before me, follow your dreams. Set goals high. Don't listen to criticism. Don't care about what anybody's saying. And then crush it. Cap, get your dreams. My wife. All right, this should lighten up a little bit. I knew she was a keeper. My first date. Some people who know us, our first date, I'm a senior in high school, she's a sophomore. I knew their family well, so I'm in the house. She's taking a shower. I'm waiting for her to come out so we go to the movie theater. All of a sudden, I got, just so you know, if you don't know me, I got a little bit of a stomach issue. When I gotta go, I gotta go. There's only one bathroom in the house, and she's in it. And I'm like, oh no, I gotta go. So I knock on the door all politely, all nervous, and I'm like, hey, Marivi, and she's like, I'm in the shower. I'm like, all right, like, I gotta go to the bathroom. And she's like, I'm in the shower. I'm like, all right. So I go sit down on her bed, and I'm just like waiting, and it hits me. I'm like, oh my God, I gotta go. This is bad. I'm thinking, do I run outside? They've got the parents in the front of the house. I can't run by them, and then, what am I gonna crap in the driveway? I'm like, I don't know what to do. So I knock on the door one last time, and I'm like, Marivi, she's like, what? I'm like, oh no. And so in her room, there was this little garbage can, office garbage can. I filled that thing up. Oh my gosh, there was drops of it fell on the floor. I rip a sock off, I throw it on the drops. I take the garbage bag, I run past the parents, I throw it in the garbage can that's in the street. I run back inside, I think I'm good. I sit on her bed, and she comes out of the shower, and she looks at me, and she's like, she obviously probably smells something. And she's like, why don't you have a sock on? And she looks at the sock on our floor in the corner, and she's like, and she notices there's no bag in the garbage can anymore. She's like, did you just crap in my garbage can? And that's how I found out she was a keeper, because she stayed with me. She loved me that much. But she has been my rock, my foundation, basically for my entire life. I love you so much. Thank you for being such an amazing mom to my kids. There's so much I could say about you, but she's already telling me to cut it for the last 5 minutes, so I hear her yelling at me. But I love you. All right, in closing, I want to thank Hofstra University. I want to thank the psychology department. I want to thank the physical education department, where I got my master's degree from. The head athletic director, Rick Cole, the vice president and chief operating officer, Jay Artinian, is such a good dude. The deputy athletic director, Brian Graff, who's had to try to get me here, and I'm worse with answering text messages and phone calls, and I'm late to things, so thank you so much for staying strong. President Dr. Susan Poser for allowing me to get my honorary master's degree. And thank you guys so much for bearing with that. I appreciate it. Thank you.
A Long Island legend, a wrestling legend, an MMA legend, a Hofstra legend, and now a Hofstra Hall of Famer. Ladies and gentlemen, a round of applause for Chris Weidman. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that concludes our program. What an outstanding induction ceremony and such heartfelt words from all of our inductees. Congratulations to all of them on this honor. Ladies and gentlemen, once again, a round of applause for the Hofstra Hall of Fame, class of 2024. One last thing, ladies and gentlemen, the silent auction and raffle is now closed. Please see Jessica Kopfleisch as you leave to pay for and collect your items. We hope that you have enjoyed this evening and hope that we see you again next year. Thank you, and please arrive home safely. Have a good night, everyone.